Hi, my name is Koku with blackfilm.com, and I'm here with the legendary DMC, and we're here to discuss Peacock's original documentary series, Kings from Queens, the Run DMC Story. The new three-part docuseries premieres exclusively on Peacock Thursday, February 1st. Thank you so much for joining me, DMC.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's definitely a pleasure for me to be here as well. And this documentary was a very long time coming. We need to hear your story with this level of depth. And with Run DMC being so foundational, the growth of hip hop, what is your take on the evolution of its sound? And are you as proud of hip hop today as you were yesterday?
Yeah, I'm very proud of hip hop. And what this doc is going to let people know is a lot of people say they hip hop, they ain't hip hop.
Mm.
Now,
Mm.
as good as Run DMC, as dynamic as we are, as great as we are, that's all cool. That's very true. We're very good at what we do. But what
Mm.
people are going to realize from this documentary, when you saw Run D and J, you saw how bad and dynamic we were, but then you
Mm.
saw the greatness in yourself. That's what hip
Yes.
hop does. The thing that allowed Run DMC to do all that we did and be the first to do it, to where when Eminem inducted us into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, he looked over at me and Run and said, "Nobody will ever do what you, Run, and Jay did because y'all were the first to do it." No, we were the first to do it in the entertainment business without
Right.
compromising who we are as a culture of people. We didn't do anything
Hmm.
satisfy a radio playlist, to satisfy a chart position, to satisfy getting placed on a gig. Now, that being said, the reason why we were able to do that, Coco, is because we did everything that hip hop was doing before Rappers Delight came out.
Mm.
Once
Hmm.
anything that is holy, sacred, or important to a people, place, or a culture will get diluted, polluted, and destroyed once it's commercialized. Now,
Hmm.
Run DMC, even though we were a commercial act and did great things, we didn't allow the hip hop culture of itself to be commercialized, because you can't commercialize a culture. You can only display it. That's why when you look at hip hop today, a lot of what hip hop is about is not displayed in the entertainment business because
Yeah.
it's not important to the people running the establishment. But Run
Mm.
DMC came along, like Steven Tyler did in that Walk This Way video, and he knocked down the walls that was separating us so that there could be a Salt and Pepper, a Ice Cube, a Chuck D, a Ice T, and a Naughty by Nature.
Mm-mm. And when you think about what you've done, right, and you see how you've been received, I mean, you guys, I'm looking even at your t-shirt, and I'm going to bring that up in a second, but you guys were such rock stars. It was just a huge, huge movement. And one of
Right.
the things I want to ask you is that, with Run DMC, I would even say the branding is just as much of a cultural imprint and impact as the music, right? So
Yeah.
I would even say, listen, like I think that in New York City, we'll see people wear I Love New York t-shirts. You might even see somebody wearing a Run DMC t-shirt,
Right.
and there may not necessarily be in any context to that individual.
Right.
So, a
Right.
lot of times, let's say with you wearing an AC/DC t-shirt, right? I'll wear my Rolling Stones t-shirt, Stone Temple Pilots. A lot of times people will try to press you about it. Do you ever wonder when you look at somebody, maybe you'll see like a 13 or 14-year-old or somebody 25 years old, like, are they really Run DMC
Yeah, they
fans or are
don't
they?
know yeah, they don't know the music and stuff
Do you
like that,
wonder?
but they know that logo represents something cool. That's a
Exactly.
beautiful thing too. I remember I was playing a part in a Adidas commercial,
Hmm.
and there was kids teasing this other kid for having a Run DMC shirt on and not knowing who Run DMC was.
Hmm.
So for the younger generation, it's kind of big if they could say, "Yo, I know old school." You know what I'm saying? To give them the
Hmm.
advantage over their friends if they're fortunate enough to have family members, mothers and fathers, and I've been around so long, grandmothers and grandfathers. But they was teasing this kid because he had the shirt on, but he didn't know. And I walked over there and was like, "Yo, don't do that, whatever, whatever." And it was funny that all the other kids laughed because I turned to the kid and to console him, I was like, "It's okay if
Oh.
you don't know who I am." And they all laughed, and it was like they never seen that before. But the beautiful thing about it is our logo is known like McDaniels, Coca-Cola, and the
It's
Rolling
true.
Stone. And because our coach was able to achieve that position for us, that means that we
Mhm.
have responsibility to represent the good things for which that logo or our emblem is being displayed. So to
Mm.
question, it's very humbling because it lets me know, okay, yeah, I've been in 40 years of the 50 years of hip hop. I've proven I could sell some records, but now our presence as a culture is having impact in other areas. The same responsibility that I had when I got signed to a record deal that I never let get away is the same responsibility I must carry every day in the streets. So that when that kid is wearing that Run DMC shirt, they'll go pick up a video game or they'll go to the movie and they'll hear it's Tricky and White Chicks. And they say, I like that song Tricky. They have no idea who did it. And then somebody, when they get back home, the shirt that they were wearing the other day, somebody say, you've been wearing that Run DMC shirt and you ain't even know that's the same people that made the song in White Chicks. But now what it does is bring generations together. If we could break down the generation gaps, there's no such thing as a generation gap. That's a human created thing. It's a communication representation and conversation gap. So through hip hop, Run DMC was able to do that, which created the Beastie Boys, which created an Eminem, which created, like you said, a rock group, which created Rage Against the Machine, Limp Bizkit, Sum 41. So it's a powerful thing. And to sum it up is, I know that this Run DMC logo to be on that shirt right next to I New York means I have a responsibility.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And then for you, again, like you said, with hip hop's 50th, it was huge. I know your phone probably couldn't even stop ringing. I probably would have changed my number. But for you to be for you to have been able to perform on that big stage with the same exact impact and energy when you're right there at Yankee Stadium, just showing like this is for hip hop. And with like you said, could be grandparents, could be children, whomever, and to know that it still had the same impact that it did in yesterday.
Crazy.
How did that feel to you?
Well, we did a record called Slow and Low that we didn't put on the Raising Hell album that we gave to the Beastie Boys. They did, and one of their first singles was a Run DMC song called Slow and Low that ignited their fume to do the groundbreaking album License to Ill. But on that record, there was a rhyme that I wrote. It's never old school. It's all brand new. So everybody catch the boogaloo flu. Now, when we stepped on that stage at Yankee Stadium, we've been in this hip hop thing for 40 years. So to most of the people there, not all of them, they remembered the Fresh and Raising Hell. They remembered all the shows. They remembered Run DMC performing with Eric B. and Rakim. You remembered the concert, or you remember when the video came on MTV when you first saw it. But the beautiful thing about this is I gave tickets to a lot of the young kids that go to my gym. And when they saw that, they had never saw. Now, they see videos and they hear these records because, hip hop is digital now.
Yeah.
You just push the button, you get the record. You know what I'm saying? When you see these current hip hop people, it ain't about the DJ and the skill and the rhyme and the crowd participation. It's just a lot of people who claim they are hip hop, but they're not hip hop. They're rapping over recorded music industry for the purpose of having success in the recording industry. These young people saw what me and Run did for the last 40 years, having never seen it in 86, seen it in 2023. It was new to them. It wasn't old to them because they never saw it. It was only old to my friend who was there with me when I first put out Sucker MCs, but it was even more excited to him because we did it the same way that I did it when I was 18. But the beauty about that is what's happening now at Judas Priest concerts, what's happening now at AC/DC concerts. The parents and the grandparents are taking the young kids to see AC/DC, and these young kids are becoming fans of not of the success as a celebrity. They're becoming a fan of the music and the purpose of the culture. So in the stadium, this documentary is this, and I'm telling everybody this. It's been 50 years of hip hop. This documentary is going to let us know it's been 50 years, but we still got a lot of work to do. How do we solve all the division, all the negativity in all of our communities? Do what Run DMC did and watch what happens. Conditions will improve. Conditions will change. The little kids don't need to be thinking. The girls don't need to be thinking, I got to be half-ass butt naked to get a record deal. We need more girls saying, I can call myself a queen like Latifah, be fully clothed and put down some bars like Lauryn Hill, MC Light, and Moni Love. That can happen right now, but nobody's paying attention to that. So when you watch this Run DMC documentary, people are talking about Run DMC, but nobody realized they ain't talking about me running Jay. They talking about themselves.
You said that a lot in the documentary as well. You said that a lot. That you are,
Yes, because and the reason why I'm saying that Run DMC, and people get mad when I say this, Run DMC really didn't do nothing. You know who did it? Cool Herc, Furious 5, Treacherous 3, Funky 4, +1. The +1 was a female MC named MC Sha-Rock, who was rhyming in a very competitive era of hip-hop, and she was the only girl out there in the midst of the dudes. And like back then, Sha-Rock is better than 99.9% of the dudes today in hip-hop. So when we saw what that meant, we saw the responsibility to the streets that created this culture. When we got signed to a record deal, we didn't change to conform to a recording industry standard. We said we're going to do what them boys and girls in the Bronx, Harlem, and Manhattan created, because this can last forever. So I always say that because I was just trying to be Melmo and Kaz and Love Buck Starsky at the same time. Now that I have achieved that, I know, wow, it can happen for me. And if you notice in the doc, all of these people talking about Run DMC inspired them, none of them rhyme or have the same sound. But when you look at hip hop today, what the young people is doing, he's successful for doing and sounding like that, so I'm gonna do that. So now everybody's doing that. Okay, it's cool. Hip hop's the #1 culture, but it's monotonous and boring. You know, Run DMC came out, but the next week you had LL. LL and Run DMC was out, but the next week you had Houdini, Freaks Come Out at Night, and Friends. Made a record called Friends. They made a gangster record about friendship. Friends, how many of us have, and you know, and it was dope. So we want people to see that and say, wow, man, it's been 50 years of hip hop, and there's still so much conceptually and musically that we can do.
Wow, this is an amazing conversation. And once again, I do thank you for your time. My name is Koku with blackfilm.com, and I'm here with the legendary, I got to say legendary, y'all. I had to put that in there. The legendary DMC. We were here to discuss the Peacock original series, Kings from Queens, the Run DMC Story. Shout out to Hollis. The new three-part docuseries premieres exclusively on Peacock Thursday, February 1st. Let me tell y'all guys, this is bucket list stuff right here. You don't understand what's going on in my head right now. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. This was an honor. Thank you. If you want to see more content like this on blackfilm.com, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring that bell.